Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a blessed day. My name is Jose Castillo, Area Coordinator, and I want to take a few minutes to go over the procedures for your virtual inspection. A time has been set during the Camporee from 2 to 3 p.m. on Sabbath afternoon for each Pathfinder Club director to conduct their inspection. Please make sure you schedule a Zoom meeting with your club so that you can conduct your virtual inspection. In the packet that you received from our office, you should see 3 sheets for inspection. The first one is the criteria, which tells you what are the things that you need to inspect in your clubs. Followed by the attendance sheet. And the third sheet is your scoring sheet. This is where you're going to score the points that your clubs were able to accumulate. Please make sure you send these 2 sheets, the attendance sheet and the scoring sheet, to my email address, which is under page 1 at the bottom, jcastillo2353@gmail.com. Also, we're asking that you record your inspections. If you're doing it via Zoom, make sure you record your inspection so that you can submit the video to the email as well. If you choose to use another format, that is fine. Just make sure that you upload your video to my Gmail address. I hope that everyone has a blessed Camporee filled with activities, and I hope that everyone is blessed through these activities. Take care, and God bless. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a blessed day. My name is Jose Castillo, Area Coordinator, and I want to take a few minutes to go over the procedures for your virtual inspection. A time has been set during the Camporee from 2 to 3 p.m. on Sabbath afternoon for each Pathfinder Club director to conduct their inspection. Please make sure you schedule a Zoom meeting with your club so that you can conduct your virtual inspection. In the packet that you received from our office, you should see 3 sheets for inspection. The first one is the criteria, which tells you what are the things that you need to inspect in your clubs. Followed by the attendance sheet. And the third sheet is your scoring sheet. This is where you're going to score the points that your clubs were able to accumulate. Please make sure you send these 2 sheets, the attendance sheet and the scoring sheet, to my email address, which is under page 1 at the bottom, jcastillo2353@gmail.com. Also, we're asking that you record your inspections. If you're doing it via Zoom, make sure you record your inspection so that you can submit the video to the email as well. If you choose to use another format, that is fine. Just make sure that you upload your video to my Gmail address. I hope that everyone has a blessed Camporee filled with activities, and I hope that everyone is blessed through these activities. Take care, and God bless. Hello, everyone. I hope
that on the cross my burden gladly bearing, he bled and died to take away my sins. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. When Christ shall come with shout of acclamation and take me home, what joy shall fill my heart when I shall bow with humble adoration and then proclaim, my God, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. When sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. How great thou art, how great thou
Ready? Hello, everyone. At this point, all club directors should be conducting their inspection via Zoom with your clubs. Once you complete the inspection using the criteria sheets that were sent from our office for the Camporee packet, please make sure that you record your inspection, complete the sheets, and then send those three things, the video and the scoring sheets and the attendance sheets, to the email address on the criteria, which is J Castillo 2353 @gmail.com. That's J Castillo 2353 @gmail.com. Thank you very much.
My Jesus, I love thee, I know thou art mine. For thee all the follies of sin I resign. My gracious Redeemer, my Savior art thou.
The International Pathfinder Camporee is one of the mightiest Adventist youth events in the world. It's where honors are earned, pins are traded, friendships are formed, faith is shaped, and lasting memories made. But how did it all begin? The story starts back in 1984 with a bold idea to bring Pathfinders together from all over North America for one big camporee. But what place could hold so many people? And was there enough time, enough money, enough volunteers to make it happen? God made a way, providing for every need. And on July 31st, 1985, over 14,000 Pathfinders attended the first ever North American Division Camporee in Camp Hale, Colorado. BMX biking, rock climbing, and archery were just a few of the many activities offered. A circus bear even made an appearance to entertain the campers. Despite the initial success, 4 years later in 1989, there was no money and no sponsorship for another camporee. But God provided again, this time through the Columbia Union Conference, who generously hosted more than 13,000 Pathfinders at the Friendship Camporee in Mount Union, Pennsylvania. Over 509 clubs enjoyed trading pins, navigating the obstacle course, and watching an amazing laser show. And that was almost the end of the story, as no division, union, or conference was willing to sponsor another camporee. But God gave an even bigger vision to the Rocky Mountain Pathfinder leaders, an international camporee, bringing together Pathfinders from all over the world. But just months before the 1994 camporee, the hosting property owner backed out. After earnest prayer, God supplied a new location at the Bandimere Speedway, a drag racing track. The camporee saved again. Over 12,000 campers from 23 different countries attended Dare to Care. The campers enjoyed a wide range of daily activities and then came together each evening to praise and worship God at Red Rocks Amphitheater. In 1999, the second International Camporee found a home in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. 21,000 Pathfinders from 53 countries came to discover the power. Only a few days in, a severe storm hit Oshkosh. The campers prepared for the worst, but were amazed to see the storm split in two and pass safely around the campground on either side. Though the 2004 International Camporee was themed Faith on Fire, it was nicknamed the Winter Camporee because Oshkosh had record low temperatures that week. Though the campers were cold, their faith was set on fire by the story of Joseph. 31,000 attended from 65 countries, and over 300 were baptized. In 2009, over 35,000 Pathfinders from 71 countries watched the powerful story of Esther unfold as she showed her courage to stand. The camporee was filled with spiritual highlights, from the 500 Pathfinders who took their stand and were baptized, to the giant cross in the western sky on the final night. The camporee closed with a bang in an amazing fireworks display. In 2014, over 50,000 Pathfinders from 80 countries came to Oshkosh for Forever Faithful, the biggest Adventist youth event in history. Campers participated in unique daily activities like blacksmithing and wakeboarding. Each evening they enjoyed the antics of Ryan and Chico and were inspired by the amazing story of Daniel. During the week, over 600 Pathfinders were baptized. On the last night, dangerous waves of thunderstorms threatened to cancel the evening program. As the campers in the outdoor arena waited and prayed, the first part of the storm narrowly missed the campground and the program went on, ending with the dramatic finale in the Lion's Den and a spectacular fireworks show. The 2019 Chosen International Pathfinder Camporee reached new heights with wide-ranging activities, honors, parades, service projects, and inspirational evening programs featuring the story of David. Attendance reached record numbers, with over 55,000 Pathfinders attending from 105 countries. 2 Guinness World Records were set during the Camporee. The world's largest scarf and slide weighed in at over 800 pounds. And a previous record was broken when 13,310 people came together to form the largest ever human cross. But the biggest highlight was the 1,320 youth and adults who were baptized at the Camporee, and the thousands more who returned home to prepare for baptism. On the final night of the Camporee, the Pathfinders gathered for a spectacular finale, concluding with the reveal of the theme for the 2024 Camporee.
Moses and Miriam.
Hi, everybody.
From low attendance to high, from national to international. After 4 decades, 8 Camporees, and 235,000 Pathfinders, we look to the future. God is with us. He has led, is leading, and will continue to lead us. See you at the next Camporee.
I hear the voice of Jesus. He calls me by my name. He pulls me ever closer, for he has come to save. My God is on the throne, and I am not alone. We are chosen to fight, to stand up for the right, to proclaim that you are God. We declare you are King of our everything. Lord, fill us with your love. We are chosen, chosen to bring your light to the world. Fixing my eyes on my Lord, though I risk it all, I choose to follow Jesus, though the heavens fall. Walking the narrow way, we're choosing you today. Today, we are chosen to fight, to stand up for the right, to proclaim that you are God. We declare you are King of our everything. Lord, fill us with your love. We are chosen, chosen to bring your light to the world. Oh Lord our God, how we love you. You came and chose us, so we have chosen you. We are chosen to fight, to stand up for the right, to proclaim that you are God. We declare you are King of our everything. Lord, fill us with your love. We are chosen, chosen to bring your light to the world. We are chosen, chosen to bring your light to the world.
tall, stand up proud, till the very end. Stand strong, stand firm, press on until the end, and claim the promise of His word. We have got a message, let's spread it through the land, praying for the courage to stand. Let's run, but let's not hide, proclaiming once again to fight for what is right, showing love unto all men, not fearing what may come, nor looking to the past, trusting everything we are to the one whose love will last. Stand strong, stand firm, press on until the end, and claim the promise of His word. We have got a message, let's spread it through the land, praying for the courage to stand. Standing, standing, standing on the promises of Christ my Savior. Standing, standing, I'm standing on the promises of God. Stand strong, stand firm, press on until the end, and claim the promise of His word. We have got a message, let's spread it through the land, praying for the courage to stand. Stand firm, press on until the end, and claim the promise of His word. We have got a message, let's spread it through the land, praying for the courage to stand.
Hello, Pathfinders! Thanks for coming on this journey with me. Was this a great week or what? Well, it's time for me to say goodbye. Oh, but first, I am so excited about this. Pathfinders, say hello to Moses and Miriam!
Hi, everybody!
Aw, look at you. Aren't you so cute? Hi, baby Moses. Can you say hi, Moses?
Hi.
Wait, what? But you're...
Moses.
And he's...
Moses. Don't overthink it.
So cool. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Pathfinders, get ready.
Because we have an incredible story to tell you.
So meet us here in 2024 and keep believing in the power of God's promise. We'll see you at the next Camporee.
Good evening, Southern California Conference Pathfinders. Welcome to the very first ever Southern California Conference Virtual Pathfinder Camporee. We invite you to join us in our song service this evening. Smile a while and give your face a lift. To the one who loves you best. Shake hands with the person next to you and give them with a
people, Jesus Christ is risen. He died for you and he died for me. Joy is like the sunshine and it's raining down upon us. Joy is like a golden crown. So let us come together, praise the name of Jesus. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. I got a smile on my face. I got a smile on my face. I got a smile on my face because of you, oh Lord. I got a smile on my face. I got a smile on my face. I got a smile on my face because of you. I got Jesus in my heart. I got Jesus in my heart. I got Jesus in my heart because of you, oh Lord. I got Jesus in my heart. I got Jesus in my heart. I got Jesus in my heart because of you.
Victory.
I got victory on my side. I got victory on my side. I got victory on my side because of
invite you to join us in singing our Pathfinder theme song, the theme song of Pathfinders around the world. Oh, we are the Pathfinder strong. Oh,
We are the Pathfinder strong, the servants of God are we. Faithful as we march along, in kindness, truth, and purity. A message to tell to the world, a truth that will set us free. King Jesus the Savior's coming back for you and me. Oh, we are the Pathfinder strong, the servants of God are we. Faithful as we march along, in kindness, truth, and purity. A message to tell to the world, a truth that will set us free. King Jesus the Savior is coming back for you and me.
Chinese is ready for inspection.
Very good.
Awesome. I like the fact that we shared that. Agreed. Yay. Oh, Matt, you caught Bob and I talking.
We heard you, Steve.
Hey.
Good afternoon, happy Sabbath, and thank you for joining us at our first ever virtual Camporee themed Knowing Jesus. Appreciate you joining us on Facebook and on YouTube. And we're about to get started with our Nature Nugget. My name is Matthew Reyes, and I'm Assistant Area Coordinator with the Southern California Conference. So let's have a quick word of prayer before we get started. Dear Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for giving us another day of life and giving us the opportunity to be gathered here virtually through YouTube and Facebook. I ask that may you bless every individual that is joining us today, that may we be able to open our minds and open our hearts to be able to learn more about you and your creation. We ask that as we learn these things, that you may help us, that we will be able to incorporate these things into our spiritual lives and help us strengthen our faith and our trust in you. Take care of everybody here that's joining us, and we ask all these blessings in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, so Ellen White mentions that next to the Bible, nature is our great lesson book. And there are so many things that we can take from nature. There's so many different lessons, object lessons that are used in different instances, for children's Sabbath school, children's stories. So I want to sort of do that here. I just want to give you a little bit more informational aspect. I am a biology major. I study biology. I don't know everything. I will tell you that now. And then that is something I should mention now. If you guys have any questions or things come up during the videos, go ahead and put them in the chat. I'll do my best or in the comment section, I'll do my best to try to answer your questions. And if I don't get to your questions today, I will get to them at some point, and we'll try to get you the answer as best as we can. So feel free to go ahead and do that. Put in your comments and your questions there, and we'll do our best to answer them. And before we dive into the actual segments, I just want to cover a few verses that came to mind while I was preparing this segment. So let's go to John chapter 1 verse 3, and I'm going to see if I can put this on the page. Let's see. All right, there you go. All right, so John 1:3 says, and this is a New International Version, all things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made. So just remember, keep in mind that we believe that God created everything and all the animals that we see. right? So just keep that in mind while we go through the different segments here. And another verse that I want to touch with you is, I'm going to do 3 verses. And my second verse is, in his hand are the depths of the earth, and the mountain peaks belong to him. The sea is his, for he made it, and his hands formed the dry land. So again, keep these verses in mind. Unfortunately, there are different views as to the way things came about, and there are certain groups that believe things came about a different way than we do. So just keep in mind these verses that are biblical verses that state that God created everything that we see. And then my last verse is, and this is something that I want to keep in mind and points to Ellen White's statement about nature being a great lesson book. So this is Job, verse 12, 7 through 10. But ask the animals, and they will teach you, or the birds in the sky, and they will tell you, or speak to the earth, and it will teach you, or let the fish in the sea inform you. Which of all these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? In his hand is the life of every creature, and the breath of all mankind. So again, remember, there are multiple verses. I just picked 3 that reinstate and reinforce as God, the creator of everything that we see. So keep in mind, and then try to see the different portions and different segments that we go about today. Keep in mind and see, what is the lesson that can be learned from this creature or this instance or this scenario. What can we learn, and what can we apply to our lives, and how can this help me in my spiritual life? So just keep in mind as we go about our little journey today, and see how we can apply these things in nature to our personal lives. All right, so I'm going to jump to Google Earth. So I'm using Google Earth for my segment today. Let me open my window. Okay, so I am going to use Google Earth today and try to go through it with you, do my best to refrain from showing pictures and videos that I'm not authorized to show you. So let's jump to Chrome and let us jump to Google Earth. Home. Let's just go to home. Alright, let's see. Position. And then, okay, so you guys can see Google Earth, and you can see, let's just click up, and you can see me in the lower right corner. Okay, so I'm in the lower right because what I want to show you is up here in the upper right, and there are copyright notices all over the place. So I'm going to use this tool that's called Voyager, and it has a whole bunch of different items and categories of things that you can learn about. So nature, games, street view, culture, travel, education, and so on and so forth. There's a whole bunch of information you guys can play around with here. So it's Google Earth. So earth.google.com, and then you launch Google Earth. So let's see if we can. So if I go to earth.google.com, it takes you to the page. You guys can do this also on the phone, on an iPhone, on an iPad, on a tablet. You can't do it with the downloaded version of Google Earth. I do apologize. You have to do it in the browser or on a smart device. So you open Google Earth, right? So here it is. Here's Google Earth. And you go to Voyager. On the left side, it's the ship wheel. I don't know what it's called. It's not the ship wheel, but it's... I'm not going to play with that. All right, so we're going to go into what a keystone species is. So a keystone species is an organism that has impacts or affects other organisms within the same community. All right, so technically every species can be a keystone species. However, some impact the community in a very drastic, very big way. And this is why those species are called keystone species. So if we read this here, and this is with HHMI, or the Howard Hughes Medical Institute, and their biointeractive segment. So there are different habitats, but there are certain animals and certain species whose presence in a habitat determines the makeup, determines what organisms are present in this community as well. And those are the species that are called keystone species. So we're going to start with the purple sea star. So there was a professor who wanted to see what would happen if he removed purple starfish, the purple sea star, from the rock and see what effect it had on the local community there. So he did this very simple. He removed the starfish from the rock and he threw them into the ocean. He then returned regularly on a regular basis, a week or two, every other week. I don't know specifically, but he returned on a regular basis to see what the difference was between the area that had the sea star and did not have the sea star. So he wanted to see what effect the sea star had and the absence of it had on the community. So, as you might expect, the items... Actually, let me go back. So this is a purple sea star. And then these are mussels. So not your arm mussels, but these mussels, the sea's mussels. And the sea star preys or eats the mussels. So when you remove the sea star, you can expect that the number of mussels would greatly increase, right? And then this is a photo of a healthy tide pool that has a lot of different organisms. That's a sea star. So with the sea star gone, you can think or expect that the mussels would, or the animals that the sea stars used to eat, would flourish, would be abundant, they would thrive. There would be a lot of them because there isn't something that's eating them or limiting their growth, right, in numbers. However, most of the species of mussels disappeared. So initially there were 16 species of mussels, and then a year after, there were only 8 species, and a snail that had not been there at the beginning, a species of snail. And 5 years later, there was only 1 species of mussel. So from 16 it went down to 1 and had taken the entire ecosystem. So you could see the photo here of the mussels that had grown down and when the sea stars were present, the mussels stayed relatively up on top here. So by getting rid of the sea star, an entire community began to collapse. And then further research showed that when there isn't predation, or when there isn't something eating the mussels or eating something, controlling population growth, one mussel species outcompeted everybody else. So then the professor coined the term, or came up with the term, keystone species, to describe species that have large impacts on their community. So I want to jump to number 9. And there are a whole bunch of more things that you guys can look into here. There are so many more animals. I can't go through all of them. However, I do want to go through the sea otters. So sea otters used to range... Let's see, hold on. I think it's not there. Is it going? Okay, so it's going. So sea otters used to range from Southern California. So let me see if I can zoom in here. So used to range from Southern California all the way up the west coast of North America, across Alaska, across the Pacific Ocean, a little bit into Russia, down into Japan. There used to be hundreds of thousands of them in the 1700s and the 1800s, but humans hunted them for their fur. causing their numbers to go way down, almost making them extinct. And then once the hunting ended, otters began to return to some places, but in others, not so much. So scientists were able to compare the habitats when there were otters present and when there weren't otters present. And in areas where otters were present, they controlled the population of sea urchins. So sea urchins are these spiny animals that eat kelp. Now, what kelp is, it's a type of seaweed. You guys see it sometimes in the ocean. You don't see it as much now, but you used to see it a couple of years back when it would wash up in the ocean. It's this green, leafy seaweed. Let's see if I can. No, can't do that. So, sea otters eat sea urchins, and sea urchins eat kelp. So when you remove sea otters, there are a lot of sea urchins. And with a lot of sea urchins, they eat a lot of kelp. When they eat a lot of kelp, the community collapses. And the reason is, kelp is very required and supports a lot of different animals, different types of animals. So like fish, different seabirds, invertebrates. And then when you get rid of a habitat, essentially, the whole community is going to fail. It's not going to succeed. So when there are otters present, they eat sea urchins, control sea urchins, and can keep kelp forests intact. Therefore, since sea otters control sea urchins, the population of sea urchins, the number of sea urchins, the kelp forests stay intact, and thus sea otters are a keystone species because they control and keep communities intact. But if they weren't there, the community wouldn't succeed. The community would perish. So that's all I want to do with keystone species. And again, there are so many more. There's 26 pages. I just don't have time to go through all of them. There is an Indian vulture, termites. Let's see, I think these are bats. Oh no, yeah, so bat, flying fox, sharks in Hawaii. The gray wolf in Yellowstone is a pretty famous one. Where else? The African elephants, the wildebeest. So there's a lot more keystone species out there. Polar bears are also keystone species, but they're not highlighted here. So keystone species, just to a takeaway, are species that have great effects on their community, on their local community that they are a part of. All right, so now I want to jump to a different portion of Voyager. So I'm going to go back to Voyager, the little captain's wheel, and scroll down to islands. So this is part of Planet Earth 2 and the British Broadcasting Corporation and BBC Worldwide, BBC Earth. So let's check this out. So I can't play the videos and I can't magnify the photos, but each segment, so I'm going to show you the segments. So there are different segments based on the series. So I don't know if you guys saw the series, but there's one on islands, there's one on mountains, jungles, deserts, and grasslands. For now, I'm going to cover islands. So in each segment, there is an introductory video that you'll see here, and they'll introduce you into the segment. So it'll be a short video and tell you what's going to sort of happen next, or what you're going to cover during this segment. So in the second page, they go down to the Galapagos Islands, and there's a video of a marine iguana hatchling and a snake. So the hatchling is trying to get from one point to another, but it needs to cross an area full of snakes. So there's a snake that approaches the hatchling tries to escape, and then a whole bunch of snakes come out after it. So there's footage of that here. I invite you guys to check it out. I could probably put up the link for you guys to see it, but I can't show it here. Okay? And then here's a photo of a finch. So the Galapagos, before it zooms in, is a chain. It's an island chain of about, it says 19 major islands here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13? So it depends what you call major, but each one has its own real environment, like on the island. Each one's really different. We could explore it a little bit later. I'm going to try to see if we can do a trek here on Google Earth. So each island, some of them are higher up in altitude, some are pretty low to the ocean, some have dense rainforest coverage, and some are just really barren. And on here there are many different types of animals that are specific to each island, and each animal has the ability to survive and thrive on its island and has special characteristics made exactly for the island that it's living on. So the finches, popular finches, have different beaks, different head sizes, body sizes, depending on what it is that the food they eat on. Tortoises have different shell shapes and features that allow them to reach to higher ground. There's a picture of it here. So this tortoise has an arch on its shell that allows it to reach further up off the ground for food. Let's see, I don't think there's one more. And then marine iguanas can swim underwater, and they eat underwater algae and seaweed, which is not rare for reptiles. I mean, turtles do the same thing, but with marine iguanas, it's pretty sort of bizarre. So that's it for the Galapagos. I don't want to do Madagascar. I want to do the Komodo dragon. So we're going to go to Indonesia and the island of Komodo. I don't remember the other island's name. Let's see if I can get it here. Rinca. So the island of Rinca and Komodo at Komodo National Park. So the world's largest lizard, the Komodo dragon, is found on a small group of islands in Indonesia. They have a venomous bite, and they're pretty hefty in size, and they're able to really take advantage of the environment here on these islands. So they're able to detect scents with their tongues, which is pretty remarkable. That they're able to detect scents up to 10 kilometers away. So we use our nose to detect scents, they use their tongues. And they can eat up to 80% of their body weight. Adults can eat up to 80% of their body weight in one sitting, which is pretty remarkable. And then previously, people thought that there were bacteria in their saliva that allowed them to poison their prey, but scientists have determined that they have actual venom glands in their mouths. So they have venom glands, and it's not something else that's producing the venom. In some cases, females can reproduce on their own. They don't need a male. They can reproduce on their own, which is not unique to Komodo dragons. Some animals can do that too. Here in this clip, there's a Komodo dragon that has snuck into the hotel room of the footage team, and you can check that video out. It's pretty entertaining and amusing. So then from here, we're going to go to Panama, off the coast of Panama. There's a small island called Escudo de Veraguas, which is the size of Central Park. So if you've been to Central Park in New York City, this is the size of the island. And on this island, there is a small sloth, a three-toed sloth that lives on this island. It's no bigger than a domestic cat. And the entire population of this sloth is found entirely on this island. And the sloths, if you look in this next photo, so these are the sloths, cute sloths. Sloths are cute. There's a baby and the mama. And these sloths can swim. So in the next footage, in the next clip here, there is footage of a sloth swimming to find a partner, find a mate. So the female calls, and then the male goes out and tries to find the female. It's a cute video. I recommend you guys watch it. It's pretty interesting that these sloths have been able to survive here. It's pretty unique. Oh, and this last one is pretty cool. It's a film on, or a short snippet on hermit crabs. So hermit crabs, are like crabs, but they have a shell on the back that covers the last appendage or the last part of their body. So in this video, there's a small crab that needs a new shell. However, there's a big shell, and the big shell doesn't fit the small crab. So everybody meets, all of these hermit crabs, when they need a new shell, they come to this place where there's a new shell, and then they wait for a big crab that needs to swap its shell and fits into the empty shell. So these hermit crabs line up in order, waiting for the crab ahead of it to drop the shell so that they can take it. So that's a pretty interesting system that these animals use to get what they need. Alright, so then again, I just did a quick overview. I invite you guys to check out the videos. We'll try to put up the link so that you guys can follow it. You guys don't want to type this in, so we'll put up the link to the videos or to the actual page that you guys can find this on your own. So this is it for islands. I want to jump down to mountains. We'll go up to mountains. Again, so there's an introductory video that introduces that segment. And then so they talk about the Himalayas and about the snow leopard. So snow leopards are rarely seen on camera and in the wild. So they got some footage, which is pretty remarkable. It's pretty cool. It's really hard to see these guys on camera. There's just so few of them. And they're very elusive, which makes it harder to see them in the wild. So they also have footage of these snow leopards spraying scents. So they were, spraying areas with urine to mark their territories and to communicate with other snow leopards that would come across the location. I don't know if there's another photo here. So these are snow leopards. So this is where, I guess, where this photo was taken, and then the next point is where the camera footage was most likely taken. So snow leopards are pretty cool. They're rarely seen in the wild. So it's pretty cool that they got footage of that. I don't want to do Israel or Greenland. Oh, this is also pretty neat. So there's this toad. They call it, I have the name here. But in Venezuela, there's a toad that there's a predator, I think it's a spider, on the Guiana Highland here. Let me see. So it's a pebble toad. So what it ends up doing is, if it's trying to get up to the point, I think it's trying to find a mate, if I'm not mistaken. If there's a predator, what it'll do is it will bring in its arms and its legs and roll down the mountain. Roll down the mountain in an effort to avoid being eaten, which is pretty remarkable, pretty unique that these animals have different ways of surviving and evading predators. It's a pretty neat tool. And since they're frogs or toads, it doesn't really hurt them to bounce against the rock like that. This is a video of a bear scratching itself, shedding its thicker winter layer. It's pretty entertaining. And that's it for mountains. So jungles, I am going to spend a little bit more time on, just because those of you who have been following us since early spring, we did the rainforest honor. I talked about jungles, and jungles are pretty unique in terms of the amount of animals that they can support. So again, the introductory video. This is a video of a lizard, Draco lizard, that has large flaps of skin on both sides of its body and can extend its ribs and can use the flaps like wings. So there's footage of that here, which is also pretty cool. Birds of paradise, I think we've seen them all over the place. Some of these birds are pretty colorful and use different methods to get a mate. which is also pretty cool. Some flash of feathers, some dance, some sing. So that's also pretty cool. This is a dance. So there's a video of a dance here if you guys want to watch that. Indonesia, I haven't read into the orchid mantis, so I don't know much about it. So I can't cover that. But there's footage if you guys want to check that out. And then lastly, fungi. So fungi are essentially the recyclers of the forest. So they help decompose stuff that has passed away, stuff that's dead, and they're able to recycle the nutrients and bring them back into use in the local community. So all dead material, animal or vegetable, is decomposed and recycled. And there goes the light. Hold on. Okay, so the light turns off automatically after a certain period of time. So fungi are pretty cool. So then here is footage of a fungi that attacks different species of insects. So ants, grasshoppers, katydids, I presume spiders, I presume stick bugs, and different types of insects that you can think of, and there's footage of that. So what ends up happening with this fungus, and I'll show you a picture of it later, it's called a cordyceps, so it's a genus of fungi, and the spores infiltrate or are taken in by the insect. So then once the fungi, I believe, has begun to spread within the body of the host, like the ant or the grasshopper or whatever it is, it drives the insect, at least with bullet ants, which is in the footage. I'll show you a picture. It drives the animal to go up to a high elevation, like on top of a branch, on top of, the highest point that they can get. What's up happening? The animal dies, and then the spores, the fruiting body of the fungi, this stuff that you see out here is the fruiting body, grows out of the head or out of the body of the animal. And then once it's grown, the spores are released and they fall down and affect animals that are around it. So this is pretty interesting genus. It's pretty remarkable, and it helps, keep populations in check. It's a system of checks and balances, so to speak, in the natural world, which is pretty cool. At least to me, it's pretty cool. All right, so jungles, deserts. Deserts also has pretty interesting stuff that I'd like to elaborate on, but can't. So then I'm going to end this part here, and then I'm going to jump to some footage that I have so that you guys can see that. So I'm going to pause this one out. All right, so there's enough of me talking. Now I want to do something interactive here. Okay, so I'm going to use Google Earth again. A lot of Google Earth today. So, but I want to do something interactive. So I'm going to do a quiz with you guys. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the quiz, and you can either answer in the chat or answer in the comments or don't answer at all. I'm going to take the quiz with you. I have taken this 2 or 3 times now. I'm going to play the sound twice. So what the quiz is, it plays a sound, an animal sound. Whether it's not like a sound the animal makes intentionally or a sound by some other way, shape, or form. Right, so I'm going to play the sound twice. On the second time, I'm going to guess the answer, and we'll see if we got it right or not. Okay? So let me make sure that you guys can hear. All right, so let's try to figure out what animal that was. I'll play the sound again. And I haven't written down the answers, so this is off memory. Or it's off what I think it is. So I'm going to go with the horse, but I'm going to say this is wrong. Okay, no. Okay, good. It's a horse. All right, so then what the cool thing about this is that it zooms in and it shows you a photo of some horses. Oh, it's pretty cool. Where is this in? This is why I need layers. Let's find out where we are. Let me see. I think I'm in Italy. Okay, I was in Italy. Nice. Alright, so let's check out the next question. Alright, so which pack animal makes this guttural cry? Let's see. So llama, a camel, or a yak? So which pack animal makes this guttural cry? What do you guys think? So you guys can't see me. Okay, so I'm here. Now you should be able to see me. Okay. So what do you guys think? I think it's a yak. Oh, it was a camel. Oh, jeez. Okay. So the sound was made by a dromedary, the camel species with only one hump. They're shown here near the city of Rod in Israel. So here are some camels, some dromedaries. Interesting. Okay, I thought that was a yak. Of course it's not a yak. Alright, which animal makes a grunting noise like this? Okay, I think this is easy. Sort of sounds like a monkey. Let's see. I think it's a pig. Yes, okay, good. It was a pig. Alright, so where are we going? We are going to the Bahamas. Pig Beach on Big Major K. And lo and behold, got two pigs in the ocean. Interesting. Alright, so this chattering sound is made by which Antarctic native? So an Antarctic fur seal, a snow petrel, or an Adelie penguin? What do you guys think this is? An Antarctic fur seal, a snow petrel, or an Adelie penguin? Play the sound again. I think this is a penguin. Okay, good. It's a penguin. Alright, so petite penguins are found along Antarctic coast, named by French explorer after his wife Adelie. And here they are. Look at these cuties. So small. It's cute. Alright, let's move on. Alright, so I've gotten 3 out of 4 right. Alright, so which prettily patterned creature makes this sound when it eats? So which prettily patterned creature makes this sound when it eats? An okapi, a zebra, or a giraffe? Let's see, let's play that again. So, an okapi, a zebra, or a giraffe? I'm going to go with a giraffe. Yes. So, the chickadee giraffe makes its home, or the one shown there, is this conservancy. Have endangered and have lost half of their population in 30 years. So here's a giraffe, and here is a plant that it eats, which is pretty interesting. Okay, so the call heard here comes from which member of the primate family? Chimpanzee, a ring-tailed lemur, or a gibbon? So chimpanzee, ring-tailed lemur, or a gibbon? What do you guys think? I think it's a chimpanzee. Oh my goodness. Alright, so the lights turn off in the office. Certain number of inactive minutes. So yeah, so that was a chimpanzee. Alright, so this low booming call comes from which bird? You think this is what it is? Well, what do you guys think it is? Sort of a trick question. Sort of. So is it a prairie chicken, an ostrich, or a barred owl? So I initially thought this was a barred owl, but I remember this answer. It's actually an ostrich. So the largest living bird on the planet, also one of the fastest. One of the birds here got startled. It could speed away at 45 miles an hour. That is fast. That's really fast. So that's the sound an ostrich makes. Alright, so this other birdly sound is made by which aquatic animal? A manatee, beluga whale, or a sea lion? Alright, what sound is made by this animal? So manatee, beluga whale, or a sea lion? I'm told sea lion. It's a sea lion. So they're frequently found in San Francisco. They make a variety of sounds both in and out of the water. That's interesting. And then if you look at this duck, look at all these sea lions. Look at this. That's a lot. That's a lot of sea lions. Alright. Last question. So which feathered creature makes this warbling call? A wild turkey, a greater flamingo, or trumpeter? Or a trumpeter swan. So wild turkey, greater flamingo, or trumpeter swan. Let's see. I think this is a flamingo. And yes, it is. So they get their pink hue from carotenoid pigments in the food that they eat. And then the black wings on these birds identify them as greater flamingos. And there they are. Look at that. It's blurry, small picture, but there they are. Nice. Alright, let's see what I got. We got 8 out of 9. Great. Perfect. Alright, so that was a little break for now, and then let's keep on going. Alright, so for this next segment, I want to talk a little bit about my experience traveling to the jungles. You know, we finished off with jungles in before the break, before the little quiz that we did. We finished off with cordyceps in the Amazonian rainforest. So I want to show you where it is that I went to in the Amazon. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to go back to Voyager. All right, let's go. All right, so I went to the country of Ecuador about 2 years ago. I went to the Amazon, and I went to the Tipitini Biodiversity Station. So just looking at this map. So this is untouched forest that hasn't been, cut down and whatnot. But if you look over here, I don't know if you see these lines. If you're able to see these lines. So these lines are, most of them are roads, and then from that there are, roads that break off of this. So, back before civilization, you can see it more here now. This is colonized, broken up forest, whereas this is mostly intact, primary rainforest. So I just want you to, nope, don't want to go in there. Just want you guys to take a look at, how near cities, big towns, how the forest is sort of broken up. And the further away you get, the more intact forest you find. Alright, so I went to Tipitini Biodiversity Station, which is going to be somewhere around here. Just don't remember where. I know it's not that island. I know we took a road to another river. I want to say it's this river. Nope. Alright, so anyway, just want to show you, we went to the country of Ecuador. And what I want to show you is some of the images that I took back from Ecuador. So let's see if I can, Let's see if I can do this. All right, so remember that cordyceps we were talking about, that fungus? So this is the fungus that we were talking about, the fungus that infects, at least in this instance, bullet ants. So what happens with the bullet ants is the fungus is inside the ant and drives the ant to move as high up as it can in height. So it goes up a branch, goes up a tree, goes up a plant, and the fungus overtakes the ant, and the ant clinches on to as high as they can go. And after that, they die. And the fruiting body of the fungus begins to grow out of the ant head. And so this is still growing. It hasn't dried out yet. So within this process, once this body grows, the spores are going to be released and thus continue the process. So this is a picture of that cordyceps fungus, just so that you can see what it looks like. All right, so then I'm going to keep going on down my list here of images that I have that I wanted to share with you. So this is a picture of a glass frog, and the reason they call it a glass frog is because if you pick it up from underneath, you can see the frog's organs. So I didn't get a picture of this. This was the first day or second day that we were down there. So I wasn't too fond of picking up animals and taking them back to where we were to, take photos with them. Other people were, but the first or second day, not so much. So it's funny because we found this frog really unintentionally. We were on the way to a Numedal or to a pond, or pond/swamp, and kind of got lost at night the second day that we were there. So my partner and I, the person who was with me, I was internally panicking. It's being lost in a forest, being lost in a country, especially where you don't know, where you are, in the dark at night, is kind of terrifying, especially when you're hearing so many sounds that you don't recognize or that you don't hear back home. So it was kind of a struggle. Those few, half hours seemed like eternity that we were trying to find our way back. Thankfully, we were on a trail. The trails all lead back to the main lodge where we were, so that was a relief. But it's really interesting how sometimes, like when we're in need, we sometimes forget, that God is always with us. And it really takes, I think, a mature faith to really recognize that, that even in like your darkest moments, sometimes we get really overwhelmed by like whatever situation is in front of us. And we sometimes forget, that God is with us and always will be with us. And, we just need to seek Him always, not just when we need Him, but if we seek Him, especially when we need Him, He will most definitely be there and help us with whatever situation we have. So, it's something that I've learned to recognize now, but it's really interesting how that's sometimes the case. So this is a glass frog. It's a cute small frog, but it's just something that when I look at it, it reminds me of that night and reminds me of really how shortcoming we are as humans, to really easily forget that God is forget that God is there, but our humanity really blocks that out and makes it easy to forget that He's there. All right, so then the next thing I want to talk about is this anaconda. So we were there was a group of people from our group. I went down with our university down to Ecuador, And there were a group of people that were studying different projects on bats. And at night, when they were on their way back from their location, as they were coming up the boat, the little boat that they were, using to go back and forth, they found this anaconda next to the boat, which is pretty interesting. It's not that big; it's a baby anaconda, but it's still pretty large in terms of like when it's stretched out. But it wasn't that big once you curled it up. So it's interesting that these guys can, go into rivers and stay underwater for an extended period of time. That's pretty mind-blowing. All right, and then while we were at night, doing a couple of hikes here and there, we found this boa that was up in the trees near one of the outbuildings where we were staying, which is sort of frightening, I guess, or not frightening, but it's really interesting to realize, when you're out and about, especially in the rainforest, it's so diverse. There are animals all over the place that you sometimes won't recognize. They see you, but you most likely won't see them. It's the same thing in nature out here. But it's really, when you're, close to nature, it's easier, most definitely, to, to see, God's creation and different animals and the different things that he has created in terms of how each individual works, which is pretty remarkable. All right, and then going off of remarkable, I was helping a friend with a project, and her project was examining leaf rolls, so plant whose leaf rolls up. And within her project, she came across a leaf roll that had a couple of bats inside. So I don't know if you can see at the bat's feet, they're little suction cups. So the suction cups help the bat cling to the wall of the leaf, which is, again, remarkable. It's most of the things that are pretty like mind-blowing that I mentioned, like in the overview of jungles, are really in the jungles and in the rainforest, especially the tropical rainforest. There's just so much diversity down there that it's really easy to see, how each animal works within its own little bubble, and how each animal is, uniquely positioned to succeed where it is. So that's pretty cool. And then on that same journey, we came across some howler monkeys, or some monkeys. This is hold on. There you go. All right, so this is a picture of a howler monkey. So what howler monkeys are, so they're usually in tribes or little packs, groups. And in the morning, they howl at dusk and at sunset, usually. And the purpose of the howl is usually to establish their territory and to advise other groups, to not interfere with their territory. So while we were doing that project, where I think we found that bat, if not, it was on the day later, where we encountered a pack of howler monkeys. So I'm going to play a video for you. And so I have two videos. I have one where I recorded it in the morning, so it was expected. It wasn't, unexpected by surprise. But here, let's check this out. Check out this video. Oh, sorry. So these guys are loud, very loud. And in the morning, okay, it's expected. However, when you're walking around in the middle of the day, you don't really expect to find these guys, the same place where you are. So check this one out. This was with, again, the same person from our group who were working on our project. And check this out. All right, we're going to redo this again. Just so that you know, I have lowered the volume of this because it is too loud. Watch. So those are howler monkeys. I don't know, at the end you sort of heard it a little bit more, but I did lower the volume so that you wouldn't burst your eardrums, and even then the recording doesn't do the sound justice. They were really loud. Another short state of panic because there's all this rustling in the trees and monkeys jumping from branch to branch. Thought, when are these guys going to come down and come beat us up? But thankfully that didn't happen. So this has been it in terms of jungles. I don't have any more photos. I mean, I have a whole bunch of more photos that I could share, but these are just a few of them. So I want to jump on to another portion where I'm going to share a couple of videos. Within the same trip, we went down to the Galapagos, so I have a couple of underwater footage for you, which is pretty cool. So then we'll do I think we'll do a trek on the Galapagos and with Google Earth. That way you guys can see a little bit more better footage than what I have. All right, thank you. All right, so as I mentioned before, we went to the Galapagos on the same trip. So here's Ecuador, and then you take a plane out to, nope, I don't want to go to Puerto Rico. Out to the Galapagos, and here you go to the island of Baltra. You land here, and depending on what it is, you get on a boat, a little yacht, and you go about cruising the different Galapagos islands. So I have a couple of videos that I recorded. I'm playing for you. I don't believe, I mean, if there's commentary warranted, then I'll go ahead and comment, but I'm gonna go off camera for now. So let's go ahead and play this. Okay, so you probably do need commentary. So here's a green sea turtle, and you can see that it's eating some seaweed. So when you're at the Galapagos, you're usually supposed to stay about 6 feet away. So we used to maintain COVID distance with animals before COVID was a thing. But no, when you go to the Galapagos, they usually require you to stay about 6 feet away so you don't harass or stress the animal. Being excited and touching it, turtle. I like turtles. Turtles are my favorite animals. Probably got a little bit closer than I should have, but then do remember I did have an extension, not a tripod. It's not a selfie stick, but the GoPro had an extension, so that I wasn't right on top of the animal. But yeah, so this is a green sea turtle at the Galapagos. And bear in mind, I'm not a professional. I'm not a pro at this. And I don't know if you see both of them there. Or is it just one? Just one. Okay. So that's a sea turtle. And then I think at the end you see two. You can hear me talking in the background back there. So there's one in the far back. Yeah, but that's sea turtle. You see it at the end, I think. Okay, maybe not. Alright, so let's check out another video then. It's in the same area. I believe this photo was actually before the other one. Let's see. This one's shorter, not as long. So again, eating seaweed. Seagrass. Sorry. Seagrass. Alright, so trying to go in order. Alright, for sure one of my highlights is the fact that we saw a penguin swimming around with us. So you're gonna see it on the right. So there's an anglerfish there, another fish. It's following this fish, and then on the right you're gonna see a penguin dart out. And I try to follow it for a bit, but then I lose it. So there it is. You see it going on the right, swimming around, coming back to the middle, and then I lose it. Oh, no, it actually swims around, and then there it is, and then I lose it. So yeah, so that was a Galapagos penguin, which are endemic to the Galapagos, and the most northern penguins, or the only penguins north of the equator, if I'm not mistaken. So that was pretty neat to be able to swim with a penguin. We saw photos of them, we took photos of them earlier, but to actually swim with a penguin was pretty neat. And then there's a school of fish eating over there, which is pretty neat too. On that same dive, we also found some starfish, a whole bunch of starfish. Fortunately, they don't move fast, so it may take them a while to get from point A to point B, so it may not be exciting, but seeing a whole bunch of starfish was pretty cool. They're pretty deep, so I couldn't go touch them, but I tried. You can hear me trying to go down there, but that didn't work. Alright, let's see. And then within that also same snorkel, there is a sea ray. So unless you see the stingray there. I said sea ray, not sea ray, stingray. You can see the stingray going through the rocks there, which is also pretty cool. You can see the ripples. Again, I'm not a professional. Please excuse my videography, but just thought it'd be cool to show you guys this footage. So try following the stingray. And surprisingly enough, As we follow the stingray, there was something else to be seen. I don't think I see it. It's kind of far away. You could see the outline of it in the middle of the screen. It's an actual shark. So that was surprising. I forgot we had filmed one. I know there were sharks near the boat that, swimming, near the boat when the light was on. But actually swimming with a shark on it, and then classmate goes ahead and scares it off. So there's a Galapagos shark down there, which is pretty interesting. They don't really attack humans, so it was kind of harmless. Right, so you saw the penguin, you saw the shark, you saw the ray. Wait, I'm gonna do one last more. And we were filming, and let's see, colorful creel fish and surgeonfish. Just wanted to show you the vibrant color. And then again, I'm not a professional, so my videography is not that great. See the volcanic rock. It's pretty interesting, the patterns of the rock. Creel fish again. Unintentionally close to it. I scared that guy. It's like, whoa, what is this? Who is this guy? Leave me alone. That was unintentional. The waves just pushed you against the rock, so it's like you can't control where it is that you're going. I'm trying to see. I showed you the turtle, showed you the ray, showed you the starfish, showed you the penguin. Ah, there's one more. So this was near one of the other islands, and it is pretty neat. So there were some sea lions out in front of me, and then they all of a sudden come in front of me and you start swimming, which is pretty neat. That was, they startled me for a minute. So I was like, whoa, what is this? Here, I'll play it again so you guys can see it. I was like, wait. So I knew they were up in front, but then all of a sudden they're like, oh no, this guy's coming towards me. They come by me. And then this one starts swimming really fast towards me. It's like, whoa. And then he does a nice acrobatic dance, which is cool. So it's cool that I have this footage. I like this footage. This is a great footage. Alright, so enough of me talking by myself. It is time for us to do another quiz. Alright, so this is pretty fun. It's a different source. This one's a little bit harder. I do recall having a little bit more of a challenge with this one, so hopefully it's not as easy for you guys either. So I'm gonna play it against twice, and I'm gonna go through it together. You guys can put your answers in the comments, the chat. Keep them yourself, say them with your neighbor, or yeah. So let's go with this. All right. So surprisingly, this sound was not made on the computer. What animal did it come from? So I'm gonna play this sound twice. All right. So that was once. Second time. Oh. Second time. So what do you guys think? Is it a seal, a penguin, or a cormorant? I'm gonna go with a seal. So the southernmost seal species in the world, spending most of their time below ice hunting. Their calls, unique, can be heard below and above the ice. So I don't see where the seal is here in this photo. Usually when they bring it in front, it's right in front, you don't have to do anything, but I don't think that's the case here. Because that's not a seal. So, it's too bad. Alright, so this creature can be found in oceans all over the world, and its call can be heard many miles away. What is it? Okay, maybe it's not that. What do you guys think? Is it a sea cow, dolphin, or humpback whale? I'm gonna go with humpback whale. Yes. Alright, so it uses its song to communicate and coordinate foraging activities or activities to eat. Males of the species produce complex songs that repeat for hours. That is crazy. So here is a photo underwater of, I should also, is there credit to be given here? No, okay. So, photo of a humpback whale, which is pretty neat. I'm trying to find its eyes. I think its eyes are right here. It's pretty cool. Alright, so which haunting creature makes this skin-crawling sound? A lynx, an opossum, or a bison? So I was surprised when I got this wrong. I thought it was a bison, but it's a lynx. So when a lynx wants you to back off, you'll probably hear this. They reside in North America and has been spotted in places like North Cascades Park. So usually, again, you just go down forward. Just straight ahead is where it should be. I have no idea where this thing is. I'm searching for this. I have tried searching for this. I can't find it. If you can find it, let me know. Tell me where it is. Alright, so which animal made this battle cry, which is named after a popular instrument? Coyote, bighorn sheep, or an elk? Right, so this is an elk. So male Rocky Mountain elks make the sound called bugling during the mating season to challenge another male. A large population of the massive mammal lives in Yellowstone National Park, shown here. Alright, so this is Yellowstone. Where's the elk? I don't think there's going to be elk here. Not today. Nope, not today. Alright, so this creature doesn't sound too happy. Who made this sound? You guys should know this, because we just went over this. We'll play it again. Is it a toucan, a warthog, or a howler monkey? One more time, just so you guys are sure. Okay, hope you all chose howler monkey, because that was a howler monkey. They can be heard up to 3 miles away thanks to their large throat sac. Usually howls serve as a warning to other monkeys to keep off their turf. So this is a photo of a rainforest. I don't recall seeing the howler monkey up here. Could be here. I don't know if it is or it isn't. But if it is, go ahead and tell me where you think it is, and I'll go ahead and check it out. Alright, so this animal's call is no laughing matter. Which bush dweller made this sound? So a hyena, pied cuckoo, or kookaburra? Kookaburra. It's a pretty intimidating call. They remind me of hyenas, but they're not hyenas. It's a kookaburra. So kookaburra is sometimes referred to the laughing kookaburra thanks to its nefarious laugh-like call. It's also known as a bushman's call because it tends to vocalize early in the morning and just after sunset. Again, they're probably up here. I just can't find it. It's a small bird. Can't find it from here. Okay. So which tiny creature has a call that can reach 110 decibels, as loud as a power saw? Cicada, katydid, or a grasshopper? What do you guys think? Cicada, katydid, or grasshopper? Let's play this. So that is a katydid. I thought it was a cicada, but cicadas I think are louder. Katydids get their namesake for their repetitive calls. KD, Katy did it. Can be found on every continent except Antarctica, including the Amazon rainforest. Cool. Yeah, these guys are going to be too small to see here. That's a nice patch of Amazon rainforest. Nice and dark. Alright, 2 more to go. Be prepared. What animal made this sound? Hyena, lemur, rock, hyrax. Hyrax. So this is a hyena, and it reminds me of that the kookaburra. See, because they're both laughing. To laugh is usually a sign of high stress, made when they come across competition. Incredibly social animals and alert each other of danger. So if you zoom in here, there it is. It's not that clear of a picture, but there it is. There's a hyena. Which is cool. Alright, last one. Which bird made this call? A sparrow, a bald eagle, or a blue jay? Surprisingly, it's a bald eagle. So you would think the bald eagle, a symbol of power in the US, would have an authoritative screech. In reality, its call is far more pedestrian, resembling one of a much smaller, less threatening bird. So I guess it's at an event, hopefully not recently. And there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 bald eagles. So let's see what we got. Oh, we got all of them right. This is after practice. Practice makes perfect, guys. Alright, so great. Alright, so we're almost winding down here. Thank you for sticking around. I appreciate it. I know it's hard to stay in front of a screen for a long time. So let's get started, shall we? So it's a quick, it's a sort of an expedition. You use street view imagery. You show the land, coast, and sea of the Galapagos Islands. So let's get started. Right, so Devil's Crown is an area off the island of Floriana, and what it is, it's a volcanic cone that has sort of broken off. So the only part that you really see are the little points here. So I'm going to take a picture, not take a picture, but I'm going to go ahead and click on what it shows here. And you got a school of fish. A lot of fish. A lot. Again, told you I wasn't professional. So you can see a lot of fish near Devil's Crown. Whoa, I'm not trying to zoom in. This is a lot of fish. So this is pretty neat. That's pretty cool. Alright, so then Champion Island East is a small island very near Florian Island. There's a sea turtle, which you guys saw. It's probably better because there isn't that much sand. So you can see the sea turtle more clearly, which is pretty cool. Alright. Sea lions. So sea lions are all over the place. You'll see them on the port, you'll see them on the beach. The Galapagos sea lion, found in the waters of the Galapagos, are very social. It's true. Often spotted sunbathing. I remember at one point, one of the stops that we did, not sure if it's this one. Actually, I think it is this one. So the boat goes somewhere around there. But yes, I remember seeing a lot of sea. I think it's actually on the other side. So you can see a lot of sea lions. They're just taking in the sun and stuff, which is pretty cool. Giant tortoises of Isabella Island. So giant tortoises, you usually see them along the rim. You see them all over the place, really. Whoa, that's a lot of tortoises. That's really a lot. Congregate here during the cool, dry season. Wow. That's cool. It's a lot of tortoises. They're huge, too. I have some photos of them. They're pretty big. Blue-footed boobies, unique bright blue feet. The males display their feet as a dancing ritual. Got a couple of photos of that. This is on Seymour Island. Let's see if you can see them. So there's a blue-footed booby. Some of them have brighter feet than others. Some aren't that bright. Let's see. So if I'm not mistaken, the lighter ones are usually female, and the bright blue ones are male. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong though. I don't recall correctly. All the way over here. Should have got a photo for you guys. Don't need to see that. You just saw the tortoises. It's a different island again, different habitat. It's a different geography, so they have different shells. Frigate birds. Frigate birds have this big red sac on underneath their beak. Let's see if you can see it. Again, if I'm not mistaken, the males usually have this sac, and the females don't. Yeah. So here's this frigate bird, and if I'm not mistaken, they're used to get a mate. They'll inflate it to make themselves look very magnificent. Tortoises. Tortoises are a big thing around the Galapagos. Feeding tortoise, frigate bird again. So, scarlet throat pouch that is inflated like a balloon in breeding season. It's not inflated, it's very droopy. So, Post Office Bay. It's not related to nature, but it's pretty cool. So, you go here and you get postcards and you leave them here in this box. And what you could do is you grab a postcard if you leave a postcard. Usually you grab a postcard of somebody who you can deliver it to personally. This is the way they used to collect mail and distribute mail back before technology and stuff. So that's what they used to do. They used to leave postcards, take and give and take, give and take. So that's pretty cool. Take away with. Alright, so let us see. The Father and the Son engaged in the mighty, wondrous work they had contemplated of creating the world. The earth came forth from the hand of the Creator exceedingly beautiful. There were mountains and hills and plains, and interspersed among them were rivers and bodies of water. The earth was not one extensive plain, but the monotony of this scenery was broken by hills and mountains, not high and ragged as they are now, but regular and beautiful in shape. The bare, high rocks were never seen upon them, but lay beneath the surface, answering as bones to the earth. The waters were regularly dispersed. The hills, mountains, and very beautiful plains were adorned with plants and flowers and tall, majestic trees of every description, which were many times larger and much more beautiful than trees now are. The air was pure and helpful, and the earth seemed like a noble palace. Angels beheld and rejoiced at the wonderful, beautiful works of God. Let me do the last one. Let's see. Number 5. Alright, and then that's from the Story of Redemption, Ellen G. White book, page 20, paragraph 1. And my other verse is, so the earth was clothed with beautiful verdure, while myriads of fragrant flowers of every variety and hue sprang up in rich profusion around them. Everything was tastefully and gloriously arranged. In the midst of the garden stood the tree of life, the glory of which surpassed all other trees. Its fruit looked like apples of gold and silver and was to perpetuate immortality. So again, I hope that everything that we have seen today has been a reminder and served as a motivator for the things that are to come in terms of the spiritual aspects that, blessings that are to come if, we remain faithful to God and the blessings that await us in the new Jerusalem and, on the new earth once, Jesus comes back and hopefully, Lord willing, we're all in heaven, and then we come back and enjoy a renewed creation. So just think about, the beauty of creation and nature now. Unfortunately, plagued, a little bit by sin, marred by sin, but there is something to look forward to. There's still beauty in nature now, even though it is been contaminated by sin, and I invite everybody and challenge everybody to remain faithful, and that, Lord willing, we will see each other in heaven. So this has been our nature nugget for today. I hope everybody has learned something, and let us close with another word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for allowing us the opportunity to learn a little bit more about your creation and your wondrous works. We ask that you bless every individual that has joined us today, that we may be able to take what we have learned and apply it to our personal lives and be able to share these blessings with others. Take care of us throughout the rest of the program. Bless the rest of the program, and that everything we may do may only be to honor and glorify your name. We ask all these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Alrighty, everybody. Hope you learned something and you stick around for the honors. 4:30 to 6 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. There are a whole bunch of honors that you guys can take. Zoom information should be forthcoming. So, thank you. Happy Sabbath, everybody.
definition of the CDC, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention here in the United States. It's a biological material or an sterilized specimen of human and animal tissues. For example, blood, cell lines, body discharge, fluid, excretion, or similar materials containing or suspected to contain a disease-causing agent. In our case right now, it's a virus. Chemical or biological accident. Let's do this, and let me tell you, we have an accident and an incident, and it's very important to have that difference between those two. The accident is when it's an intentional release of one or more hazardous substance, okay? In this case, I'm talking about right now COVID because we're gonna talk about that one later, okay? This one, it wasn't an accident. It wasn't an accident. COVID-19, it wasn't an accident. Even you don't believe it. Incident. The incident is the uncontrolled release of a toxic chemical or substance or biological disease that can result in harm to the public health. I don't know if you remember in Iran, Iraq, they use mustard gas. Okay, the definition is not there. That's my club is telling me, and they are 100% right. Leave it alone and just put a circle to the F, okay? Long time ago, a few years back, they want to do stuff in Iran and they use the mustard gas. Let's go continue. Pathogen. And COVID-19 is a pathogen because it's a virus. Pathogen is any bacteria, virus, or other microorganism that cause disease. And this is causing a disease. Sir? Thank you. Aerosol are a suspension of fine, solid, or liquid particles in gas. Biological materials can be transmitted through aerosol. We don't know exactly where the virus came from. We know the city and we know the country, but we don't know exactly in which form was spread out. We know that it's coming for a little market, apparently, with meat. PPE. PPE is personal protective equipment, and it's protective clothing, helmets, goggles, or other garments or equipment designed to protect the body from an injury or infection. I don't have it. And if you are related to the health field, right now, those people who are, and we're gonna talk about later, those people who are isolated, people who take care of them, the nurses, the doctors, whatever, they need to use PPE. Okay, perfect. We finish. Okay. Number F, the letter F is not there, but it's the last one. F, for those one who printed the worksheet, F is the last one. But we make it clear because we don't want to have any confusions. Okay, let's continue. We have two ways people use the PPE stuff, okay? The healthcare and the non-healthcare field, okay? We're gonna find out who need it. And the healthcare, for sure, you know, you're gonna write down in the middle of the two columns, you're gonna write down by yourself all those healthcare that you think use any kind of protection. Come on, start thinking. Who in the healthcare, who use something? Who uses?
Doctors, nurse.
Oh, who use
Face
right?
shield.
Please mute yourself, those ones who are online. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna find out right now. Types of PPE, gloves. Those letters who are in yellow are the one who you are missing, okay? Letters in yellow or words in yellow or phrases in yellow are the one who are missing in your worksheet. Face mask, that everybody who go outside of your home needs to wear. Face shield, gown, scrubs, hazmat suit. I couldn't get a hazmat suit because they are really expensive, but you can Google it and you can find it. Before we continue, I have a request. Most of your Pathfinders leaders send me your name and your club name. But just in case, please write again on the chat your name and your club name, okay? In order to make it valid to you through this session. Let's continue. The non-healthcare professions, and I don't know if you remember 30 Jobs program. I really enjoyed that guy. He do a lot of things that people never think that there were jobs. And one of them, what he did, it was wastewater. It was nasty and disgusting, and he needs to wear protective PPE stuff. The cleaning services, supposed to be, they need to use mostly in the hospitals, but anywhere, even in the hotel room and even in the restaurant area. Law enforcement, when they need to use it, firemen, the veterinary too, even if it's an animal, he needs to protect himself, and the coroners. Now we're gonna go through what is the difference or what is an outbreak. And the outbreak is divided in 3 different classifications, okay? Number 3, we're going to number 3. Outbreak, and we're gonna do a better definition after this. Outbreak refers to the number of cases, we're talking about disease, that exceeds what would be expected. We are in an outbreak. COVID-19 is an outbreak. Now we're gonna find out and figure it out. It is endemic, it is epidemic, or is pandemic. Endemic, an infection or disease that exists permanently in a particular region or population. This case could be malaria. Malaria was in Africa. Epidemic, it's an outbreak of disease that is actively spreading over a wide geographic area and affects high portion of the population. Pandemic, a global endemic. Okay, COVID-19, it's an outbreak. Now it's a pandemic since March 2020. you're gonna find out 3 globes and you need to figure it out which is the endemic, which is the epidemic, and which is the pandemic. And after you write down everything, we're gonna see if you have the right answer. If not, fix it, okay? Ready? Let's go, because we have a lot of material. First one, I found a better definition for outbreak. It's when more cases of a disease than would be expected are recorded. From there, the classification is how, as I mentioned you, endemic, epidemic, and pandemic. Okay, let's go see if you get it. Number 1, the first one to your left, what it is? Endemic. The middle one? Epidemic. And the right one? Pandemic. Okay, the first one, it's endemic. Okay. Second one is epidemic, that is only in a region. COVID-19 is a pandemic. Okay, we need to find out with the Venn diagram, okay, what is the similarities? And I'm sorry, I'm missing. You need to complete the blue circle. You need to complete it, okay? It's missing that line, and I'm sorry for that. But draw a line to complete the circle that is blue, okay? This is the pandemic. The pandemic, how we see before, affects a larger number of people. And we are living something right now like 1918, the Spanish flu. But those days, medicine, it wasn't really good like now. And through the years,
I mean, okay, so I can put it on the screen, but I can't promise
how
it's gonna
to treat everyone.
be legible.
And we're learning, and we're living something like that. We're gonna still dying
Do my
people,
best to have both.
because the people who are at risk, they're gonna be at risk right now, in 6 weeks,
Somebody trying to get in
6
summer?
months, in a year, or whatever the pandemic stay with us. Okay, pandemic
With Nancy?
spreads across larger region. This one, COVID-19, came from
You
China,
need
and we are
somebody
in the
else.
United States. That means across the whole world. It's a higher death, higher social disruption. I know many of some families, they lost their job. It's general hardship for everyone. We go to the epidemic. Affect a smaller number of people, spread in a small region, and affect more people than you expect under normal conditions, and it's in a specific time. Similarity between those two, they are spreading the disease, and it's the same infectious disease, okay? This is the Venn diagram that is asking for us. Number 4.
Nope, that's not big enough. Okay,
Develop a
great.
list of precautions that should be taken during epidemic and pandemic.
Sorry.
Those ones who were able to go back to work or maybe school, the first thing that they ask us to do is frequent hand washing. Okay, frequent hand washing. They ask us every time that we go out of your house, they ask you to do it. Avoid touching your face, because it's a virus and it's contained in the air. If you touch your eyes, you touch your nose or your mouth, the high risk to get it is still there. We need to disinfect. Okay, any areas we need to disinfect. For example, we are using this one right now here in our camp. Everything that we use this one for our restrooms, and for the kids, we're washing our hands and using hand sanitizer at 75%. Physical distancing. They recommended at the beginning, because they didn't know how the virus will behave, we start with 6 feet. But we're learning through about this situation that if you keep your distance, but if you're masked too, and you clean your hands, and you don't touch anything around your face, you are safe. Face mask. I don't think so if you go to the street or to the store without a mask, they're gonna allow you to get in. But we are not doing them. We're not doing them for them. We're doing to protect our own self, because everything is on the air. Water treatment. Glad we are not living in Africa, but this is one of the precautions that certain areas in the world needs to take care of. And the last one, we're not living close to the tropical, or Africa is the most affected about the mosquito control. But even though, mute yourself, guys, please. Can you mute yourself, please?
Recuerda que está en audio, ¿eh? Están escuchando.
Matthew, you unmute the mic.
Okay, 1 second. Oh, thank you. Okay, let's continue. Now we're gonna talk about isolation and quarantine. Do you remember in March what happened? We start quarantine because we didn't know how the virus will behave. And now we can go out the street, and those one who get the virus and get sick, and then they're gonna be isolated at the hospital. Let's go see what it means. In isolation is those one who are sick, okay? And right in this case, right now, today, we are COVID-19. And they restrict people to come and visit them at the hospital or to spread around them. And they try to avoid the risk of transmission. Quarantine. Go, please, I don't want to ask you again. Alexander, Alexis, don't unmute. You interrupt me. Quarantine.
Bueno, si quieren eso. El hermano va a prestar la tableta, no estén puchi porque.
Okay, quarantine. Yeah. Oh. I don't know how to do it.
Get out of there. We'll do it.
Okay, 1 second.
We'll do it. No, this is what you want to do. No, here.
No, it's not there.
Not here. Mute all participants.
No, it's not here. I need to make him co-host.
Okay, we'll do it. Hold on.
Sorry for the interruption. No, yeah, they told me.
Isn't it recorded 5?
Okay, go out over here and we can go back.
Here?
Stop sharing. Okay. And then maybe.
Who's he? Matthew. Here. Make a call.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you okay? Yeah. You're welcome.
I thought you were going to make me a call.
Sorry for an interruption. Okay, let's continue. We are in quarantine. Few schools are going back, but not everyone. I know junior high is not going back. I know high school, college. We are still home. I'm still working from home 3 days a week. And that's mean I'm still in kind of quarantine, okay? Quarantine is restrict the movement of people to avoid spreading the symptoms and the virus, prevent the contamination, and communicate clear guides from the authorities. That's what we're doing right now, okay? You have that picture over there. You don't need to write anything. Okay, questions 6 and 7. At the end of the page, you have 2 charts. You have this chart, okay? We're gonna work on this one. And you need to write down maybe a word of the sentence to fill those ones. That's the biggest thing that we're gonna do about writing, okay? Okay, through the time we have been historic disease, and I was telling you about the 1918 Spanish flu. In that time, they didn't know how to treat it, and there was a lot of people dead, okay? And the swine flu a few years back, that one, it came from almost the same region in the same country, the swine flu, okay? And then we're gonna see on the first column that you have, this is one, you're gonna write down Spanish flu. Okay, let's start. I need you to start writing. We are gonna try to go fast as much as we can. We need to finish today, guys, okay? We're gonna talk about when did it occur, how many were infected, how was it spread, what was the symptoms, what were the biosafety precautions, and how was abated, okay? Spanish flu. The first question you can write down, January 1918 / December 1920.
Can you repeat that one more time, please?
You can see on the screen. You have it on the screen. It says when, January 1918 to December 1920. It's getting cold outside over here. Okay, number 2, how many? 5 million. 500 million. Get the virus, but only 50 million people die. How was spread 1918, even though it wasn't that busy that today? Unbelievable. It was spread by traveling from Europe to the world. Traveling is the answer. Symptoms. Symptoms like flu, chills, fever, cough, fatigue, and at the end, final lungs complication. That today with COVID, that's why people is dying today, here, with the COVID-19. Final lung complication. It's the virus act completely at the lungs and make them kind of swallow. That is hard to do the interchange of oxygen, and that's what the people mostly die. But even though healthy people can survive, but the people who has an illness under with them, for example, diabetes, hypertension, obesity, those one are the ones who are in risk. Precautions, they learn to experience. At the end, when the Spanish flu was, they start using masks. What are you wearing right now? A mask again, okay? And they learn too, when they put out the patients in the sun, they get better a little bit faster than if they keep it inside in the hospital, okay? High probability of recovery. How was abated? What method they used to control those days? None. Okay, we go to the second disease. Matthew, are you recording? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, the second one is the closest one that we have few years back, but glad that wasn't this bad like today, like COVID-19. Let's go, it's gonna be the swine flu. And this happened January 2009, maybe when you were born, some of you, or you have maybe a year old. January 2019 to April 10, 2010. How many people were contagious? 60.8 million cases. How was it spread? Person to person. Coughing, sneezing, touching something. That's why now they recommend this mask to try to avoid to spread through the droplets in the air. And when you go to the store, you immediately go back home and wash your hands, or if you, anywhere you go outside of your house, they recommend you to hand washing. Symptoms, again, like the flu. And you're gonna ask, why like the flu? Because it's a virus. In this case, it's a virus with symptoms like flu. Again, chills, fever, cough, sore throat, runny nose, body itches, and headache. It's like you get a flu. Precautions, frequently washing hands and not touching your face. Which method they use to control? Well, in that case, it wasn't that strong, the virus, and they get a vaccine. Okay, question 7. We're gonna see 2 diseases. We're gonna see which one of them about symptoms, spread, cure, where and when was the outbreak epidemic, which prevention was taken, and the biohazard safety method that they used to try to combat that disease, okay? Number 7, we have cholera. Cholera is gonna be one of we're gonna study. Okay, and this one came from Asia, mostly India, the Ganges, the river, Gang River. Okay, tuberculosis, we have a vaccine for that one. yellow fever, measles, malaria, Ebola. Ebola came from Africa too. And COVID-19 that we have been talking about it, okay? You are gonna find that one, this one, 7, okay? Cholera, symptoms, very important. It's gastrointestinal symptoms, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, dehydration. How was it spread? To contaminated water. Right now, even though when you travel abroad to those countries, mostly in Asia, they you can ask your doctor for a vaccine, and they give you oral vaccine, and you can take it. That way, if you travel those ways, those areas, you are already covered. When? Oh, this started 19th century, during the 19th century, and it spread across the world because it's coming from the Ganges Delta in India. Ganges, thank you. And we have been several pandemic seasons, and the seventh one of them was in Asia in 1961, Africa 1971, and came to America in 1991. We were talking about what I mentioned before about the prevention of the water, the treatment of the water, and this is one of the reasons that is important to take care of. I'm happy that over here in our country, we don't have that problem, but if you travel Africa or third world countries, most of them have that problem. The prevention is a combination of surveillance, water, sanitation, and hygiene, social mobilization, treatment, and oral vaccines. This is what we can do for prevention. The safety has always, it's health education and vaccines. Because I was mentioning you about the COVID-19, I'm not going to take as my second disease, but I'm trying to keep it how we talk about it. And I'm gonna try to see another different disease, okay? We're moving to the second disease, it's on your right column, will be Ebola. Oh, sorry. Okay. 1 second. Oh. you can see it there. It's fever, aches and pain, weakness, and fatigue. But this is the important thing about it, okay? This has abdominal pain, and this is really important, unexplained bleeding. The virus is spread through initially blood contact, body fluids, tissues of animals. This started in Africa, and the custom of it there to bury a family member is to touch it. And they didn't know about it, and that was the word that they get contagious, this disease. Right now, here in the United States, we have a vaccine, but in Congo, they start using two things. Just put the REGN/EB3 and the MAB114. Those are prescriptions. When was the first time discovered? 1976. Ebola River and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Prevention. Traveling abroad. Avoid contact with blood, body fluids, or handling someone who died from Ebola. This comes from the primates, but comes from animals. And the safety is health educations and vaccines. Give you a few minutes that you can finish, and then we can continue.
Excuse me?
Yes?
Did you say the REGN, EB3, and MAB114 are those vaccines that they
No, they're medicine. It's medicine.
Okay,
they don't.
thank
Congo doesn't have a vaccine. Only United States. Okay, let's gonna move on. Come on, guys. Just write down the things that I mentioned you. Small words. Discovered 1976, Ebola River. That's it. Congo. Prevention, traveling abroad. Safety, health education, and vaccines. Make a small one. Don't copy everything, guys. When you get to college, you need to find out how to make notes. Okay? Okay, number. respiratory droplets. Do we have a vaccine? No, we're still trying to find out if it works what we have right now. When was discovered? Late 2019, it's coming from Wuhan, China. Prevention, social distancing, 6 feet, face mask, cover when you cough, don't touch your eyes, nose, mouth, wash your hands frequently, stay at home. If you're sick, that's mean quarantine. And if you have problems breathing, and then you go to isolation at the hospital. Safety, health education, monitoring yourself for any symptoms. And as you know, there is a lot of people that are still not following this, and it's really sad because it's gonna take us longer to go back to normality. Okay. Number 8, complete of the previous disease studies area or were endemic to your local area. Answer, COVID-19. Which of the previous diseases are current traveling concern, and what location are greater risk to encounter them? Needs to be COVID-19 all around the world right now. Answer, all around the world. C, on the number 8, C. Choose a place in the world you would potentially like to travel to and learn of the outbreak and disease that require of recommended a vaccine. Well, let me tell you the truth. One of the places that I always want to be is China. And I cannot travel right now. Why? Don't ask me why, but I always want to go to China. It's really interesting culture for me. You choose whatever you want. This is mine, you choose whatever you want to travel. Okay, number 9. How do vaccine work? Well, it gives us immunity to an infection disease caused by a particular germ, bacteria, or virus. And normally isn't a dead antibody that is injected to our body, and that way give us a kind of fighting inside of your body, and that give you that resistance to the vaccine, to the virus, okay? That's what the vaccine does. Why it is important to be updated with your immunizations? It is important because today with immunizations, because most of the vaccine don't last forever, but need a boosted. When you were a child, and I can say most of the parents take you to the pediatrician, and most of you receive vaccines to avoid certain diseases. That's the only way to prevent it, okay? And one of them here in America is polio. We don't have polio anymore, but we still seeing 2020 some outbreaks again, even here. If a person misses a part of the ongoing schedule vaccine, they may lose their immunity or partial immunity to the virus or bacteria that the vaccine is protecting them, okay? Just 3 words over there. 4, immunization, boosted, loose, and partial. Okay, number 10. Number 10, we have around the world several organizations, health organizations, that help us to kind of rule the way that we need to behave or we need to do, okay? They are not in order. You need to make a line, across the line. Something like this. I'm not gonna give you the answer. But here in the United States, we have the Center for Disease and Control, and the headquarters are in Atlanta. The World Health Organization is in Geneva, Switzerland. In Canada, they have the Public Health Agency of Canada and is in Ottawa. In Europe, they have the European Center for Disease Prevention and Control in Solna, Sweden. Make the lines for each one of them, and the PowerPoint are correct. My PowerPoint is correct. You need to make the lines and find the city with the acronym of the health organization. In the meantime, you're still making those lines. I'm gonna start talking about the next line. Next slide. And those one who works on areas of health, you know how to do properly, to wear the gloves and how to take them out again. But it's important. I don't know if you remember the biggest thing that I crossed my mind right now, because I have been so long not being at the hospital. I stopped working maybe 17 years ago. But right now, I remember, Oshkosh, oh my, Oshkosh, the restroom, the showers with prices. We have a lot of prices. It was disgusting. They give us these things, and they give it a scoop with a little chico-majigger to put it in and throw it out. By my lucky, in my turn, I didn't get any prize. Praise the Lord. But the people before me and the people after me, they were telling nice stories, really nice stories. And that's what we're learning right now about it, how to do properly the gloves. I remember inside of the operating room, I have an assistant who helped me to do the gloves. But here, we are going to learn how to do it by ourselves. Okay, if you put the gloves, you're gonna try to put it from one of the sides here, and you're gonna try to put your hand this way, okay? And I'm gonna do the second one, same way. You put it here. I put my fingers over here, you can see, and then I'm gonna try to put my hand. If you have your glove after me, you're gonna start trying, okay? I need to start seeing on the screens, everyone practicing. Okay, now we have the gloves. Wait until I finish. Okay, you have the glove. How you can take it out? This is the funny part, because remember, if you touch fluids, blood, something that is contaminated, you don't want to put it in your skin. And that's the tricky part. You are gonna try to touch it this way without touching your hand or your skin. And then, now that you have it this way, you can see my fingers here. I'm gonna try to pull it out. Same way, when you take it the second part, from the inside, okay? From the inside, not the outside of the glove, you're gonna pull it out with one finger, touching the another glove. Don't let it go. And you're gonna pull it out as much as you can. And then you throw it on the red can. Normally they have it. We don't want it. It's contaminated, throw it in an over garbage can. It's gonna contaminate more. And we try to avoid spreading. Okay, now wear your gloves. Okay, I wanna see everybody wearing their gloves. I forgive you. Oh, I have a table over there. In the kitchen lounge. In the table, just at the entrance. And Angie knows. Okay. I see some of you with the gloves. Okay. Matthew, you can take some of them, do it. It will be nice. Okay. When you have it inside, let me wear another one. It's really important. Okay. Remember, your gloves, it's has contamination. You cannot go and just take it this way. No. What you're gonna do is from this part outside without touching your thing. See? From there, you're gonna pull it out. With your finger, you're gonna keep it together, okay? And pull it out, and I'm still keeping them together. Another glove, you're coming from inside. Don't touch the glove from outside, coming from inside, okay? And you're gonna pull it out. And you're gonna keep the two gloves together. Have you see, I didn't move my finger, right? And it's here. The best way is to put it inside of a bag. It is contaminated, right? In this case, Oshkosh was a contamination, but they didn't give us the next part, right? And then we throw it on the trash can, okay? If you have another part of glove, try, okay? You never know when you're gonna need it. I never expect that I'm gonna be practicing my skill using gloves in Oshkosh, but it was nice. Maybe when you grow up and then you're gonna be a master, guys, you're gonna be the one who are gonna clean. Yay! I hope I can see everyone in Oshkosh 2024, and I'm praying that this COVID finish soon. That way we can see everybody over there. It was amazing. No, you contaminate your hand already over there. Okay. I'm gonna show you a video about the importance how to properly wash our hands. Normally, being honest, and I can see with my son, did you wash your hands? And 10 seconds later, yes, I did. That's not the way that we need to wash our hands. It's really important to know how to do it. This video was made by the Mayo Clinic in the East Coast, and it's really, really good. This is just for us, those one who doesn't work in a way that we need to work with in an operating room, something like that. This is just to us. And you're gonna see the details that needs to be done, okay? And it's really important. Okay, but before going that video, why is important? Why is recommended to hand sanitize whenever it's possible? It's because the only thing is what we want to reduce all type of germs, chemicals in our hands. And normally with just soap and water, we can do it. But sometimes we don't have soap and water. And then they recommend 70% alcohol. It is not 70%, it's not gonna kill all the germs, okay? And we're gonna still able to continue spreading the germs to others. What step needs to be taken when you make sure all parts of your hand are clean? It's effective because it's methodically cleans all of the skin in your hands, palm, backs of the hand, between fingers, fingertips and thumbs, germs, and everything, all the areas. Sometimes when you don't cut your nails short, they recommend even a little brush to do it, because on the nails here, we have a storage for germs and bacteria. Okay, this is the video. You see that she's doing in the middle of the fingers, both sizes. Now she's trying to clean up under the nails.
Hi.
The palms. Look what she's gonna do when she finish. She has to clean her hands and she didn't touch the faucet, okay? With the same towel that she was using, she didn't touch it, okay? Okay, being honest with you, if you sing twice, Jesus loved me, this I know, the song, Jesus loves me, this I know, twice is the time that you need to do doing well when you wash your hands, okay? But if you finish before that, that means you didn't do right, something right. And some of you, you have your grandpas living with you. Some of you right now, you cannot even visit your grandpas, you know? That's why we are, with this honor, we try to make conscious right now what is going on right now in the world and how we can be safe and those around us. The answer number 12, Jesus loves me, this I know. One more thing. Right now, if we use a cloth to, for example, a cloth towel, it's in your home, it's okay. But when you don't know who is using it, the germ can stay there. Why, you're gonna ask? Because it's a lot of people still using it. And that's the way that we can spread the germ. But if we use a paper towel, we use it, and after us, we use it, nobody else is gonna use it. Just go away, and we avoid that way to spread the germ, okay? Another thing is when you go to the restroom, you're gonna see the air. Oh, it's really nice and pretty fast. Believe me, that is really bad because the germs stay really close, and sometimes you get really close or you touch it, and even if you wash your hands pretty well, it didn't work, okay? Remember, it's better to use the paper towel. Why the 70 isopropyl alcohol is the most effective concentration as the main cleansing sanitizer ingredient? Because take longer to evaporate. Answer is 70, needs to be 70 and over, okay? And that way it's still in your hands and it's gonna make work, okay? 100% alcohol is gonna burn your hands. That's why with 70% is pretty well in case that we don't have water to do, and it's really effective against the microbes. How many are we gonna use a hand sanitizer? A teaspoon, the size of a teaspoon. Less than a teaspoon is not working. And remember, after you put it in your hands, leave it alone and let it dry. That's the way that works. This is a 75%, okay? And have you seen my hands are still wet, okay? I'm gonna let it dry if they give it too much. They give me 2 teaspoons. With 1 teaspoon is fine. Still wet. Thank you. Okay. Explain when it's appropriate to use hand sanitizer instead of soap and water. When you don't have soap and water, still wet. It's better to use the hand sanitizer. Remember, 70% is the right percentage. That's okay. I'll let it dry. Okay. Maybe some of you, your grandma, your mom knows how to do a homemade mask. It's okay to do a homemade mask. There is no problem with that. For what we need right now, it's okay. We can control it that way. We have a few
It's frozen.
Still frozen? Matthew, I'm still frozen? Okay. Okay, maybe it's your connection. Matthew is my helper. Thank you, Matthew. Okay. What is the material mostly used? You need to use cotton. T-shirt is a really good weight of cotton, but nowadays, many of the t-shirts are coming from polyester. That's not cotton, okay? Researchers make masks using the ideal fabric and they put you really nice, a good design in this way. Just read about it and be careful. Some of them try bring in the middle another cover that you can use and protect you more, okay? When it's important to use the upgrade face mask when it's a really contaminated area. And normally, for example, right now, I have this mask. And unbelievable, this is approved by the CDC. It's an N95. Just be careful when you buy, it's supposed to be an N95. I know not all of them are good, okay? This may cost me just this little chico majigger, $10, okay? And it's you can use it for a queue of quite some time, not long, but at least. Okay, if you made a homemade, it's less expensive if you made your right size. Okay, you have your right size, and we're gonna learn how needs to be worn, and we're gonna find some people how you wear it, and you're gonna find it on the street. How much time? Oh my goodness, I have 20 minutes. Okay, we need to go faster. Okay, from a t-shirt, you have this one in your worksheet. I'm not gonna stay over here. That's the way you can do it without using a sewing thing, okay? Case of emergency, you just cut it. This is the way hand you can cut it. From a bandana, the same thing. You just need 2 rubber bands, and you can use that way, okay? This is the N95 mask and how to use it, okay? This is in the health field, how they do say they ask you to put the name. You need to clean your hands to avoid contaminating that N95. How to wear it, you wear it with 2 stripes. Okay, and then you close it to your nose. That way you don't have your people who use glasses, they don't have a foggy glasses. Okay, how many of you have seen the left upper lady wearing a mask? Well, if you are close to her, you're gonna be contaminated, for sure. For sure, get away from her. The lady in the middle, she has discomfort in the ears and she make it looser. Don't be close to her either. I can see completely her nose, and the air is coming over here, this area. The other guy, the right side, he has correctly maybe, oh no, he's covering his glasses. He's going through the glasses. He's breathing. And he's not covered the chin. You need to cover the chin. Oh, the left button, he forgot to put it back, right? Or the lady at the bottom, in the middle, he put it backwards. That's why the mask has two colors, okay? The blue is the blue color is the one who goes outside to prevent to coming in, okay? And another lady at the right bottom, she's wearing properly. And this is when people need to wear the mask. It's mostly people who work in the healthcare personnel. I don't know if you have been seen when they call if there is a bomb, they wear the hazmat suit with special glasses and masks, and maybe they have even breathing oxygen with them and all those things. Those are the kinds when they need it. Or in the hospital, when you right now, when you need to intubate, extubate, bronchoscopy, nebulizer therapy, sputum inductions, whatever. This is mostly for the health area. Okay, in this one, you have a mirror, okay? In the mirror, I want you to cough in front of the mirror, just like at 30 centimeters, something like 10, 20, something like this. And tell me if you have droplets in the mirror. Take it out your mask, because with your mask, you're not gonna do it. And like a cough in front of the mirror. Lee, you look so cute, but you need to take it out your mask. Yeah, and cough in front. Cough in front of the mirror. And you're gonna find little droplets, okay? We're living in California during the winter. It is a cold morning. When you go out early in the morning, you can see your breathing coming out, right? That means when you breathe, that's come out. During the summertime, you don't see it. That's why they are asking us to use the mask, okay? Okay, based on your observation right now, if you did it, when people cough or sneeze, that's the only way to avoid contamination is cover your mouth and nose. Okay, we need to go fast. Okay, Leviticus 13. I want you to synthesize what you say, okay? What you're gonna see. In Leviticus 13, it's really interesting. It's about talking about leprosy and how the people need to keep social distance and quarantine those days, even those days. I don't know if you remember Jesus when the 10 lepers came to see him. They came to see him because they were sick and they were living far away from their family. Okay, Leviticus 13, 1 through 8 says they need to go to the priest, and the priest needs to see their sore. And it was white, appears to be deeper, the skin, and then was leprous sore. That's the three words. Priest, white, deeper, leprous sore. That means that the person is, number 3, unclean. They cannot go back to living with everyone. And we find out in Leviticus 13, 45 and 46.
I'm sorry to interrupt you for a bit, but can you go back? I was almost done. I was finishing up the notes.
Number 1, priest.
No,
Number 2, white, deeper, leprous, sore. Number 3, unclean. Number 3, it's unclean. Okay, on the 17th, in Matthew, we're gonna go back to Matthew now and keep continuing in Leviticus about how they were doing with the garment, and there was something specific to do with the garment, okay? And after the garment has a leprous plague, the priest needs to see it again, okay? But in Matthew 24, 3-8, talk about the end of the times. And they says, many will come in my name. We're gonna hear about wars and rumors of wars. Nation against nation, kingdom.
You just want to
Kingdom against kingdom, famine, earthquake. All this is the beginning of birth pain. 2 words, birth pains. But we find more in the Bible about it. We find it in 1 Corinthians 15, 51, 58, and Revelations 21, 1-5. And this is gonna happen at the end of the time. And believe me, we're getting closer to the end of the times. And I want you, every Pathfinder, to be ready. Okay? Number 18. 1 Corinthians says, we will all be changed. When we go to heaven, we are gonna be changed. And Revelations talk about no more death, mourning, crying, or pain. I'm glad because I don't want to get old. I'm seeing right now with my parents, and I know we're living in a sinful world, and this is what happened. And when we get there, he is gonna make us new again. This is why Nicodemus never understood when Jesus was talking about how I'm gonna born again. But I hope you guys, that you understand that everybody is getting ready to heaven, and prepare yourself to be there, to meet there. And I encourage you to do that. Okay, I have a few more minutes. I have 10 minutes before finish. If you have any question, Matthew, can you help me with the chat? Write down your question in the chat. I don't have it ready right now, but those one who subscribe on the chat, I have your name. And I'm gonna send it to your director and he will share with you. Sounds good? No more questions? Oh, that was nice. That was nice. Well, guys, I'm really happy. We are enjoying our virtual Camporee. I know all the people were working really hard to make this possible, and I'm really thankful and grateful for all those volunteers who work hours and hours to help us to keep this. You need to give it to your director, and I'm gonna, this is how it's gonna work. The conference asked me that everybody needs to sign up with me, and some of you, thank you so much because you didn't by mail, and some of you did it right now on the chat. I'm gonna make a list, and this list, I'm gonna give it back to one of the coordinators, that is Nuris. I give it to her, and from there, she's gonna corroborate with the director everything else. But at least you have 90% that is attending today, and with your worship, the 10% is gonna be to the director, and then you're gonna get your patch.
Great.
Sounds good?
Perfect.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye
Hey,
bye.
we allowed to leave them?
Okay,